Hello everyone, my name is Dowlat and I'm Turkmen language and literature teacher. So today we are going to study another phonetical rule that is the palatal, that is the labial harmony, or in Turkmen language doğdok çekimliler. We are going to study the round vowels. Saying in a simply words, we are going to study o, ö, u, ü. We call them doğdok çekimliler, labial harmony. Labial harmony is another vowel harmony apart from the law of palatal harmony. If you remember, in the last class we studied with you ince ve yoğun çekimliler, back and front vowels. If we have front vowels in the first syllable, we also must have the vowels of the same group in the next subsequent syllables. And the same thing with another group, ince çekimliler, yoğun çekimliler, back vowels. So here in this class we are going to study o, ö, u, ü. This is also a very important rule. Knowing this rule will make our life easier in order to choose the correct suffix among all of the hundreds and thousands of suffixes. Okay, so the essence of this rule is if in the first syllable of words we have one of these round vowels, then under the influence of this round sound, all vowels in the subsequent syllables will also be rounded. Please pay attention. O is round vowel, but at the same time it is yoğun çekimli. Ö, round vowel, and this is ince çekimli, front vowel. O, back vowel. U, round vowel, and this is yoğun çekimli, back vowel. Ü, ince çekimli, front vowel. So in the first syllable of the words, if we have this one of these vowels, so under the influence of these round sounds, all vowels in the subsequent syllables will also be rounded. Let's get started. Mesela means for example. So this is written form, this is how we pronounce, and this is translation. Oğlanlar. Pay attention how we write it. Oğlanlar. O-G-L-A-N-L-A-R. Oğlanlar. But when we pronounce, we do not say oğlanlar. No, it's not correct. Oğlanlar, yeah, the native speaker can understand you, but it sounds weird. So it's better to say oğlanlar. Why oğlanlar? Because of this o in the first syllable. We make other vowels rounded. So we change a and a to the o because of this o. But this is only when we pronounce. When we write, we must follow the rule of writing system. That is, we can write o and ö only in the first syllable. O, ö, I say it again, o, ö, we can write only in the first syllable. But when we pronounce them. It's okay to pronounce, but when it comes to the writing, we can write only in the first and the second syllable. That's why we cannot write it. Maybe it's a little bit complicated, but no. Practice makes perfect. So Turkmen language is not that much difficult language to learn. If you understand the logic of the suffixes, other things is not very difficult. Okay, oğlanlar, and pay attention, this is not g. This is not in the beginning of the word. If it's in the beginning of the word, that would be g, but now it's a g. Oğlanlar, 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 boys. Even the suffix lar, plural suffix, we make it round. So oğlanlar. The next example, doğanlar. This is how we write doğanlar, but when we read doğanlar, doğanlar, brothers, or you can say sisters. It's not actually specific like a brothers or sisters. Doğanlar. Okay, the next example, ongot, ongat, ongat. You remember this letter ng? Like in the previous videos I said, like it's like a ing, ng. So no need to write ng, just we have ng. So not ongat but ongot, ongot. Good. The next word is with u. So unlike o and we can write o and just in the first syllable. Unlike them, u and u we can write in the first syllable and in the second syllable. So it has a little advantage comparing with the o and So u and u we can write in the first and in the second syllable. So üzümçilik, this is how we write üzümçilik, because we cannot write after the second syllable. We cannot write u and ü after the second syllable. So üzümçilik. But pay attention, all of them yoğun, and all of them ince çekimliler, front vowels. If you skip it, if you missed that video about the back and front vowels, ince yoğun çekimliler, please watch it and try to understand. If you have questions, you can ask me. So, how we pronounce üzümçülük? We do not say üzümçilik. It's even difficult for us to pronounce like this, because it's better if we have the round vowels in the first syllable. For us, it's better to make all of the sounds rounded. Rounded means like to make our lips rounded. So üzümçilik, you see üzümçilik, we need to change the position of our lips, and it's not easy maybe. So üzümçülük is like, it's more it goes more smooth. Üzümçülük is a grape growing or viticulture. Okay, let's go. The consonant w, or English w, but we don't say w, it's a w, also plays a role to make the vowels round, regardless of whether there is in the first syllable of word or not. So what does that mean? If we have w in the word, so the vowels before and after w automatically becomes rounded. For example, let's read. This consonant also affects the subsequent vowel, turning e into u, a into o. So what does it mean? If we have v, let's say in the word, if we have e or a before or after v, it doesn't matter. E, it turns to the u. That means e becomes u, because both of them yoğun çekimli, both of them back vowels, and E becomes Ü. Why? Because of this V. Because of this V. I becomes U, E becomes Ü. Because as I said, this V plays a role to make the vowels round. It doesn't matter where it is. And E, as you can guess, E becomes Ö, because both of them ince. Again, I say again, ince yoğun çekimliler, front and back vowels. It's very important, so please try to understand that rule. If you don't understand that rule, this rule would be impossible to understand, because everything based on that rule. And A becomes O, because A yoğun çekimli, back vowel, O yoğun çekimli. Again, even here the vowels are grouped into the according to the back and front, yoğun or ince çekimliler. For example, written qaravul, qaravul. This is watchman. This is written form, qaravul. But when we say qaravul, we say qaravul. So this as you can see, becomes O, qaravul. Why? Because of this V. Qaravul. We say qaravul, not qaravul. No, qaravul. And this V, it's not, as I said, when we studied consonants, I told you that it's not V, it's a W. Qaravul. The next example, son-in-law, it's a giyev. We write giyev, giyev, giyev. But again, because of this V, we change this E to the, which one? To the E. Very good. We change this E to the E. So as a result, we have giyev, giyev, we say. We do not say giyev. No. Giyev. Again, qaravul, giyev. All right. Let's get into the next slide. So the rule number 1. The labial vowels or dodok çekimliler, let's say round vowels, O, Ö, are written only in the first syllable. I told you we can write O, Ö only in the first syllable. In the second syllable and third syllables, if O is heard, it is written A. Again, even here, students, O yoğun, A yoğun. If O is heard, it is written A. If Ö is heard, it is written E. So O, A, Ö, E. One more time. O, Ö, we can write only in the first syllable. Only in the first syllable. So then, if we hear O, we must write A. If we hear Ö, we must write E. So O, A, Ö, E. As here. Oğlanlar. Why we cannot write O here and O here? Because O and Ö we can write only the first syllable. Then even you can hear O when we pronounce in a spoken language, for example, oğlanlar, oğlanlar. Actually, not the spoken. When we pronounce, you can say you can hear oğlanlar. But even if you hear O, you must remember that O we can write only the first syllable. Then if we hear O, we write A. If we hear Ö, we write E. This is the golden rule. Another one. Misal için, oğlan, oğlan. Pay attention how I read. I do not say oğlan. I say oğlan, boy. Olur, they. So if we have Ö here, we read this one as a Ö again. Çörek, bread, çörek, not çörek. No, çörek. But we can write, unfortunately, we can write O, Ö only in the first syllable. Çörek. Then, even if we hear Ö, we need to write E. Ördök, duck, ördök, not ördek, ördök. Because of this we write, we pronounce ördök, çörek olur. Okay, the rule number 2. This is this rule about the U and Ü. U and Ü we can write in the first and the second syllable. In the first and the second. Üzüm, üzüm. You see the first and the second syllables. Grapes. Grape actually, not grapes. Yeah, actually, it depends on the context. Okay, it depends on the context. We can also say like grapes. Durmuş, life. Durmuş, life. So even if we write o ü in the second syllable, there is no problem. Oğul, son, kömür, coal, önüm, product. No problem. Oğul, son, kömür, coal, önüm, product. So as you can see, u here, ü here, ü here. No problem with this. But o just and only in the first syllable. Okay. So students, now they are not written. That means u, ü, we cannot write at the end of the word. At the end of the word, we cannot write u, ü. Guzi, uqi, böri, uli, gurdi, doldi. So the first rule is that when we cannot write when it is at the end of the word. We cannot say ulu, it's a uli, börü, not börü, not börü, for example, not börü, but böri, not ü. So as you can see, we cannot write ü at the end of the word. It doesn't matter, even it is the second syllable. At the end, we cannot write. At the end, we cannot write. And another exceptions, let's say, if the vowels a, i, pronounce it long. For example, otir, otir. I cannot say otur. Otur is another word and the different meaning. But otir is sitting. Someone is sitting. Udin, long. Üçün, four. So if one of these vowels are there and we pronounce it long, we do not write we do not write u, ü. Okan, müdir, qudim. And the third one, after the second syllable, we cannot write u, ü. So, kuşçuluk. Pay attention how I read it. I read as if here again another u. Kuşçuluk. Kuşçuluk. This is how I read. But after the second, this is first, this is second. After the third, after the second, we cannot write it. So kuşçuluk. This is how we write. But when I say rounded. Kuşçuluk. Kuşçuluk. Kuruluşuk. Again, even here, I will read it as a u, this e. Kuruluşuk. Kuruluşuk. But we cannot write it in the third syllable. So that's why we change it to the e. Kuruluşuk. Üpçünçülük. Again, üpçünçülük. Üpçünçülük. Here, ü and ü. Üpçünçülük. This is how we read, how we pronounce, but we must remember that we cannot write u, ü after the second syllable. Üpçünçülük, security or supplying. Üpçünçülük. So important thing, students, in the Turkmen language you have suffixes with round vowels. For example, nun, nun, and so on. When we have round vowel in the first syllable, we must add them. For example, gulum otung, gulum otung. But after the second syllable, we cannot add them. For example, gullerim. No, it's not correct. Gullerim. Gullerim. I hope it's you understand this and you don't have any problems. Thank you for watching.